One of the nominees up today is Judge Stephen Loker, nominated to serve District Judge, Southern District, Iowa. I'm pleased to support his nomination and glad that we're going to be able to get him out of committee on voice vote. I want to explain the process that I use in Iowa with Senator Ernst's cooperation. Senator Harkin and I, for 30 years, did it a different way, but it was always mutually accepted by both of us. And I want to thank President Obama because for 3 nominations, we didn't have any controversy with that administration accepting them. And in this case, the same way with President Biden. The Judicial Selection Commission that Senator Ernst and I set up unanimously supported Judge Loker. We've learned from his impeccable credentials, his experience in both civil and criminal law, his trial experience, and his experience as a federal magistrate judge, that he's very well qualified to move to Article III judgeship. He's also shown that he understands the proper role of a judge. I have no doubt about his allegiance to the Constitution and the laws as we write them. With such a glowing record to stand on, there's no doubt why Judge Loker received support from both his home state senators. Judge Loker is an exceptional nominee who's well qualified to serve in that position, and obviously I'm glad to support him. Last week, while I was meeting with my constituents in Iowa, I sent a letter to Justice Department and to the FBI, also to the department's Inspector General. Those letters, I provided evidence of extreme left-wing bias shown by an assistant special agent in charge at the FBI's Washington field office. His name was Timothy Tebow. This FBI agent's political bias was exposed by his LinkedIn and Twitter accounts. There he posted highly partisan material related to his superiors, matters under the FBI's purview, and matters under his own purview. According to his Twitter feed, I'm going to give you some examples, which is also under his name. He mocked the election of Senator Tuberville and the state of Mississippi at the same time. He said, quote, "Thank God for Mississippi, state model of Alabama," end of quote. He recently quoted, quote, "Can we give Kentucky to Russian Federation," end of quote. In a response to a Catholic priest's tweet critical of abortion, he tweeted an anti-Catholic slur to both the Catholic priest and then President Trump, quote, "Focus on the pedophiles," end of quote. After my letter were made public, he reportedly sent a tweet. He set his tweets to, I guess this is called protected mode, and deleted his LinkedIn profile. I fear that his political bias has infected years of FBI investigations. Since I issued my letters, I've had whistleblowers reach out to me about Tebow and others. I'll have more to say on that in coming weeks. But I'll say this now. If I hear any retaliation from Justice Department and FBI, can expect a swift and powerful response from me. I'd also like to note my concerns that the Justice Department, I guess my remarks here didn't say, but he was immediately after this was made public, he was reassigned someplace else. And he was very much involved in high-level decisions to continue or to investigate or start investigations. I'd also like to note my concern that the Justice Department continues to ignore this committee's oversight requests. One example is the department's infamous October 4th, 2021 school board member memo. That memo essentially compared concerned parents to domestic terrorists. Garland has refused to withdraw it despite the National School Board Association renouncing the letter that requested the intervention of the FBI. I sent Attorney General Garland's questions about his memo on January the 18th, 2022. I've yet to receive a response. He issued his memo 5 days after the National School Board Association sent their letter, so he's capable of responding quickly when he wants to. A final example, January 19th, 2021, then President Trump issued a memo declassifying certain Crossfire Hurricane records for public dissemination. Since February 2021, my and Senator Johnson's staff have repeatedly requested an update from Garland as to when the records will be produced to Congress. To date, the department has failed to produce declassified records. It's now 18 months later. I appreciate the chairman's attempt to achieve some respect from the Justice Department, but unfortunately, we haven't been very successful. I believe it was stated that I'd receive responses to most of my requests by letter, and of course that is not accurate. I received letters, but there's little or no substance to them, so I can't consider that a legitimate response. I also haven't received requested document productions. I think that says pretty much all that can be said on the subject as far as getting the information we've been promised. Finally, I want to address the news that, as our chairman did, about the man that was going to kill Kavanaugh. He should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. I assume that he will be. I've said repeatedly that the leak of the Supreme Court's draft opinion was dangerous, and you can see how it turns out to be very dangerous for certain people. The rhetoric from the far-left activists aimed at the Supreme Court that followed only inflamed the situation. And publishing the justices' home addresses and calls for action are irresponsible. Because of clear threats to the safety of the justices and their families, the Senate acted quickly to authorize protection for justices and their families. The House has delayed action. I hope they'll act soon. The Justice Department should also reconsider its refusal to prosecute protesters outside of justices' homes. The administration cannot continue to send the message that disrespecting the rule of law is acceptable when somebody disagrees with court decisions. And for the demonstrators, could you also, what I saw on television, get rid of the bullhorn and get rid of the drums that you're beating, so at least the people that live in the neighborhood could have a little peace and quiet while you exercise your constitutional rights of free speech and demonstration. I yield.